Welcome to Zilla Cabs. Recently we spent a few days with Nolly recording a load of speakers. We used the track written to illustrate different aspects of heavy playing and the importance of hearing them in a band mix. In this series you'll find out what we discovered.
The K100 is a speaker that it's been put forward a lot. I feel like it kind of took over from the T75 at a certain point, right? Like it's a high wattage speaker.
Yeah.
I think coming from Celestion, they market it towards metalheads, but I feel like it's not the best pairing. I think there was this idea of like more low end is going to be good for people tuning low, but it's just such a dark speaker, I think. Yeah. It's not got fizz, it's got some breathiness to the top end. Sounds almost a bit like someone with a hoarse voice, you know what I mean? Like they need a drink of water. But it's just so dark. And I certainly wouldn't use one on its own. Typically it would get blended with something like a V30.
V30.
And I can see that. Just listening in context though, you go from that to the V30 and it's like, suddenly the heavens open and you can hear the guitars so clearly and they're so up front, and you go back to the K100 and they're just these dark blobs in the stereo field, you know, it just doesn't do it for me.
For me, the space that the V30 has, the K100 doesn't sit in that space in the mix as well.
No.
And metalers need a real tight, responsive low end and to fit real nice in that slot, because otherwise you're talking about mush. Yeah. And the K100 often will go in bigger cabs, in deeper cabs, more speakers in there, and you're just emphasizing that problem.
Yeah.
There's been some really cool cabs I've seen of it in like open back 1x12s.
Okay.
And it sounds surprisingly cool. I think Crate had some. We've used it a fair bit actually in open back 1x12s.
Yeah, it could be really good for taming like a kind of edgy sounding clean amp or a crunch amp. Like that makes sense. It's kind of a yang to the yin. It's interesting just if I remember diesel cabs, because at one point I had a diesel and I went and auditioned the cabs and they had the smaller front loaded cab that was really tight. That was the one with K100s in. And then the larger cab had V30s in it, and that was rear loaded. It was a looser sounding cab. Yeah. I chose that one, but it actually makes a lot of sense with what you're saying, that they'd put the low endy speaker in the cab that's going to be really tight and be able to hold it. Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of people that, again, I've said this a few times again about a few of the speakers, that aren't really into the V30 and do prefer the K100. But for this, we've just kind of got too many speakers that are really cool for it to take any of their place, I think. Yeah.